Hey, Brian from Garage Wheel Haul. Today I am showcasing the pewag Doppelspur tractor chains. They look absolutely awesome. If you want a great tractor chain and to have your tractor run like a tank in the snow, this is what you're going to be looking for. So this is the front chains, and you can tell how it has a quick action connection point on there. And on the back, the same. So you can see it a lot better on the side. And then that is the other spot that the chains hook up to. And then any of the slack, you can simply just zip tie to it. But these are awesome. It's got like this square traction point that runs across the tire. And anyway, let's go to the install. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have this as straight as possible. Look for any kinks in the chain that may interfere. The latch side, traditionally you put over the front. And then these connectors here, this chain is reversible, but traditionally you want this gap facing outside the tire. So what you do is you grab it from the middle, keeping it pretty straight. Okay, you got it kind of lined up that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive forward, pulling the chain underneath the tire. And then we'll ideally latch it from the back about like the 9 o'clock position roughly, maybe 8 o'clock. We'll see how it looks. And then ideally you want to have somebody next to you guiding you so they know when to have you stop. So let me pull forward. Okay, so my camera person helped me out by making sure we stopped in position, so you'll be able to see it on the camera. So you got a lot of leftover slack or the bag. So basically what you want to do is you want to kind of start working the chain over so that's snug. And you might have to come back down a couple times. And then you kind of see it kind of settle in the tread a little bit. You might have to jump over. To kind of make sure that that is nice and snug, not tight. And then work all the way around. Okay. So you want your latch to go this way. And so I'm going to start with the third link coming off of that point. And then you're going to go up through. And then you want to basically use that as a lever pushing down. And then we're going to go through here and see how that's kind of a little loose. And you want to match it up with the inside as well. So let's tighten that up. And we just put that off. That slides back through. And we're going to aim for number 2. So now we're going to aim for that second link. So basically we're going to pull that slack out. Pull that through. Then use that lever to pull it all the way down. And then we have this link. Slip it over. And then that is a lot tighter, and it's uniform because this back one we did the same thing. We went down 2 links and we go from there. So this slack, I'm probably end up just cutting that some off because I'm going to keep it on this tire. We'll be using that in the future, or you can zip tie it, but kind of cleaner look. I'm just going to probably cut that link off there. And then on this, what you're doing is you're pulling that through, and you're going to be sliding that up. And then if you got to move the links around a little bit, okay, so that's a little bit of a better on that side, and then we'll come out here and then we'll tighten that down. And make sure it's not twisted. So you get the twist out. That's good there. And then on this side, again, hook it up on that link. Make sure that it's tight, but there's some slack. And then we'll basically replicate this link on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to cut the slack off this and zip tie that on, and then we'll do some driving around, let the chain kind of find its home, and then we'll see if we have any further adjustments to do. Okay, so now we're going to take it for another trip, move the wheel around back and forth, watching the placement, watching the fitting. And then just kind of mimicking what we do when we're moving that. All right, we'll come backwards, nice and moving back and forth again. Okay, and then there we go. Looks good. Okay, so I'm going to zip tie this to the top of that shackle bolt, and then I will cut the excess out of the way so I know where to make my cut. Okay, so I'm going to cut right here. Okay, so that's our excess chain that hangs, and I'll do the same thing on the inside. Okay, so I drove up and down the driveway a couple times just to kind of position it, and it will kind of find its home to a certain degree. And ideally, you want to be able to get 3 fingers under the front of this. So we're just about there, so that's actually a good tension. So I can get 3 fingers under here. But over here, it's a little loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this out and then tighten it up a little bit further, just so it takes some of this slack out, because that's too much play in that. So Okay, so we're gonna find that home right here. Let's go on that side. Okay, so we tighten that up, so now we can get 3 fingers down, so that's pretty good. This one's a lot tighter, and again, you just want to have it tight, snug, but not super tight. So I think we're good all the way around. So it's some movement, so we'll do a couple more trips up and down, driveway, see how it looks, but I think we're going to be pretty good right there. Each chain kit comes with this cool little cable. What you do is you attach it to an eyelet, keep tension on it. What you're doing is you're pulling this over your tire. You want to try to get it on the highest part of your tread that you can get. And then you kind of want to get it situated. And then you want to pull forward a little bit at a time, and then make sure that you are adjusting it onto a side tread as you go. Okay, so let me drive forward. Okay, now that we have a drape moving over the tire, start pulling the chain over. Drive forward. Okay, so far so good. Alright, so I'm going to adjust that. So leave the cable on until you start getting all your adjustments set up, and then it will probably like naturally loosen up for you. We're just making sure it's coming across. And we're checking the front, make sure that we don't have any hanging slack or that bag. So put that over that tread. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay. So the rear tire is a little bit different. So we have 7 links that I matched up on the inside. So we're going to match that up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to pull this one up out of the way. So that's the link we're aiming for. And then this will kind of always want to twist a weird way. So make sure you have it the right way. And we're going to slide this through. Slide it out of the way. Pull that down. This one's a little snugger. So that's pretty good. I believe the cable assist helped with that. So let's get this thing out of the way. Both chains of cables that wants to get tangled and everything on you. All right, so we got that done and out of the way. So let's work on the inside one first. I think that's going to be okay for that. Bolt. Okay, so that's kind of good. And then we'll zip tie that out of the way, inside and out. Then we'll bring it for a ride up and down. We'll see how the adjustments work, and we'll go from there. So a new friend of mine just pointed out that if this is kind of like riding out like that, that means that this chain is twisted. Like, this isn't too bad, but what you can do is basically pull this out, hold your links correctly, and then basically you want to twist it out towards the tire to basically get all that tension out of the chain, and then when you put it back on, it will hug the tire a lot better. Okay, so drove up and down the driveway a couple times, so we are going to check how this rode, see if there's any tension, too much tension, not enough tension. And again, I'm trying to go put the hand underneath, so that's a good amount. It's not super tight, not super loose. And then you just have it sit over the tread the right way. I think we're good there. And check to see if we'd be able to get another link there. I don't think we'd be able to get one more. So I think we're pretty good there. Just keep an eye on it. And again, these chains are on a TYM 474. So the clearance is tight, but it is enough to get through there, no problem. And we still have enough room, so we get caked on with snow and stuff. We should be good. So there you go. Okay, so let's get this bucket up and check these snow chains out. So driveway's always been on a little bit of an angle, so that's always been an issue. So usually when I start getting to right about here and the tractor starts going up is where I start to slip and slide a little bit. So let's see how we do going up. And right about here is usually where I completely spin and snow. And we're going up no problem. Steers like a dream. Okay, so let's go back down the driveway. And we'll just drive down, but we'll stop a couple times and we'll just show how we got really good control. And this spot right here, and you can tell from the angle, I'll stop, put the brakes on, and I would not be able to do that before. The tractor would definitely want to keep on sliding. So that is great control, really great control. Here. Now this was always another really bad spot because I would start sliding sideways, and you can tell that's not the case. And we'll put the float back on and start lined up a little bit better. And then here we go. tight spaces. Backwards up, see how that does. Great, so if you're getting really close to an edge of the driveway, you really do have really good control, especially when you have that float mode, the bucket and float mode. And again, you can go nice and slow. I don't have to worry about sliding. I can even basically just stop right here and total control. Close to my vehicles, and I feel confident enough like I'm not going to slide into it. So pick that amount of snow up, then I can go backwards. And go back down over here and put that bucket down again. There we go. Nice good control. Dump it back here. And with the brake on, I have really good control. All right, and there's a log that it's been kind of like in my way here. So I think I'm just gonna kind of grab that by the edge. Push that out of the way. So if you get yourself into kind of a ditch, like I've purposely done, and even during the summer, sometimes this becomes a little bit of a trick. The snow chains, it's an easy get out of the way. Control on this is absolutely crazy. And yeah, if you're into some tight areas, you got the confidence you're not going to slide, you're not going to lose control. But yeah, there you go. So a super cool unforeseen benefit of snow chains on your tractor tires is that when we go up the driveway, stone driveway, it kind of digs up the stones so you have traction, even though you're not getting like super low onto it, but it brings up enough stones that you have traction, and then the power of the sun will definitely help burn that snow off. But anyway, very cool. Anyway, Brian from Garage Hall, thanks for watching, and outstanding snow chains.